Yo, what's up, Grandma family? It's your man, Grandma J here. Coming at y'all with this video. Hey, look. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Today is June 19th, 2022. And so far, I have been with Cowan Systems LLC for a year. So I thought, a year and a half. I'm sorry, a year and a half. So I thought, why not go ahead and make a video giving y'all my year and a half review with the company? Because things change over time. Some things don't stay the same. Some things do stay the same. And I just want to keep y'all updated with everything. Just as a disclaimer, anything that I say in these videos are solely my personal opinion. It does not reflect the opinion of any other drivers or anyone else or anyone within the company. Just me. Just me. So take that with a grain of salt and let's get into it. So I got this card right here to keep me structured because I was trying to create this video off the top, but I was all over the place. So we're going to start off with pay because I know a lot of people, they like to talk about pay. That's what they want to hear first. So I've been with the company for a year and a half. When I started in December 2020, my pay was $23.50 an hour, no overtime. $23.50 an hour. About 4 months in, I got a $1.25 raise, and then when I hit my year, I got a 25-cent raise. And then after my year, about February 2022, I got another raise and I started making $27.50 an hour on a regular day, $32.50 an hour whenever I go to the boroughs in New York. So that's a significant sorry y'all, that's a significant pay increase over such a short period of time. But I'm really hoping that the pay increases upkeep with at least the average increase in inflation. Like, inflation is about on average 2.2% a year. I want to say right now it's at like 8% or something like that, but at least keep up with inflation, because a quarter raise really isn't keeping up with inflation. But that is how I get paid. We get paid bonuses whenever you work a 6-day. We get paid holiday pay. We get paid jury duty pay on the local side so far. We get paid jury duty pay, holiday pay, 6-day bonus, and a safety bonus. So right now they are offering a safety bonus. Well, I think from here on out, at least up at my terminal. Do keep in mind that I'm speaking about my pay rate as a BJ's local driver out of the Burlington terminal up here in the Northeast. So anywhere else, the pay rates and the bonuses might be a little bit different. I can't speak too much for that. So double check my numbers. But for me, on my account, what I do and where the terminal I'm out of, I do get paid all of these things. My usual 6-day bonus is $100, and from here, every here and there, they do bump it up to a lot more. Like, the last few weeks, I've been sleeping on it, and I'm kind of mad at myself for that, because they was paying $200, a $200 bonus for a 6-day on top of your pay that you make for that day, and I slept on it, and then it was back to 100. But it'll go back up eventually. They be doing that incentive from time to time. They be changing it from time to time, so they'll do it again. That is not like a last time thing. But the safety bonus, they did roll out a survey for us, and they asked us what we wanted for our safety bonus, and I'm guessing a lot of drivers said that they wanted pay, because they rolled out the safety bonus where you have like 6 things to choose from. I mean, not 6 things to choose from. A list of 6 things that they want you to refrain from doing. And if you keep from doing those 6 things, you get $175. If you do 5 of those 6 things, then it gets bumped down. And if you do 4 of those 6 things, then it gets bumped down again. And then after that, you don't get it at all, the bonus at all. So $175 just to be a safe driver. It's nothing to it. Sometimes some things you can't control, but if you can control and if you keep your speed down and things of that nature, then go ahead and get that money. Don't leave money on the table. When I was doing CNS, which I really didn't like, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. They did give me a $25 bonus, and then yeah, that's it for pay, I guess I can say. Now moving on to benefits. I already talked to y'all about the health benefits. They are expensive. But I did find out that they do a match on a 401k. I don't think it's a consistent match, because the last time I contribute to a Roth 401k, which means that I put money into my 401k post-tax. I don't do the pre-tax because I don't know what taxes are going to be later on down the line. So I did a Roth 401k, ROTH 401k. Just in case y'all can't understand how I'm saying it, if I'm saying it wrong, if I'm not pronouncing right. So I do a Roth 401k and I contribute 6%. The last time I had it at 5%, and then they contributed like 6%, I want to say, match. And and then I bumped it up to 6% because I thought the match was 6%, and then when I went back, it was 5% contribution. So I'm unsure on what the contribution is. I don't know if it fluctuates depending on what the company wants to choose, but they do a match on the 401k for those that happen to enroll inside of the benefits with the company, the retirement benefits plan. I don't know if they offer HSA. I don't think they offer HSA or anything like that. The only thing I'm enrolled in is the 401k plan. Next is equipment. I hit my year in December of 2021, and I've had the same truck since January 2022, 222557. I've been sharing the same truck with another driver for the last few months. My truck goes 62 on the pedal, 65 on cruise when it decides that it wants to go 65. But for the most part, if you want to come over to this company, you're going to be dealing with 62 mile an hour, 65 mile an hour trucks. And for every here and there, you might get a 68 mile per hour truck or a 70 mile per hour truck. But for the most part, 62, 65 is what you should expect. It is a slip seating environment, but up at my terminal so far, me and another driver have been sharing the same truck. I don't know if it has anything to do with seniority or anything to do with not having as many drivers on the yard or whatever the case may be, but that's what it's been. Maintenance hasn't been quick. My truck was in the shop a few days ago, like sometime last week, and it was in the shop for like 2 or 3 days or something like that. But they had a lot of trucks down, and we have only 2 or 3 maintenance guys, and they be working on the trucks. They be trying to get everything done as quickly as possible and as safe as possible. So I can't fault them on that. It's only a few of them, and our maintenance team works like normal 9 to 5 hours type stuff. Like, they don't work overnight or anything like that. So if your truck happens to be down during the nighttime and you work the night shift, you'll end up having to get another truck because there's no one there to work on your truck. So that's the only downside I can say. Our maintenance department isn't 24/7 at my terminal in Burlington. So that's that. As far as dispatch goes, dispatch is pretty cool. The only gripe I have about dispatch is at nighttime, sometimes it'll only be like one person at my terminal, and it could be a lot on that one person. So if they end up going on break or they end up walking away from their computer or the phone or something like that, you have to wait until they come back in order for things to get done. And you might be in a situation where things might be time sensitive, but you have no choice but to wait to get an answer or something like that. So that's the only downside I have. But so far, I've had great interactions with dispatch. I haven't had any arguments or felt like I had any disagreements or anything like that with dispatch. They're pretty respectful to me. I'm pretty respectful to them. No reason to argue with them or anything like that. Natalie, she just transitioned over to being a dispatcher from being a driver, and she was doing a pretty good job. I just wanted to give her a shout out because she did transition from being a driver to a dispatcher, and dispatch has pretty much been on top of things as much as possible. So that's all I can really say about that. Now, communication is still a little bit spotty every here and there. You might not get a phone answer. You might have to wait for the phone to be answered. You might have to wait your turn or something like that. But sometimes, I want to say, since the last time I spoke with y'all, I had a couple of instances where me and another driver were assigned the same load, or you might have went there to pick up a load and somebody else picked it up, or you might have went somewhere else to go get a load and the load might not have been ready, or they might not even have the load and they're bored. They don't know what load you're talking about, or you may be going there to pick up something that's not there at all. So that's the only thing I have with communication. Like, I don't know if it's communication between the planner and the brokers or whoever the communication, where the communication lines failed at. But it do be instances where you and another driver end up with the same load, or somebody might have picked it up before you, and now you might have to sit and wait on something else. Or you might be looking crazy like, dang, I just drove all the way out here. Like, one time they sent me up to the Kellogg's, and that's like 100 miles out. Drove all the way up there to get this trailer, and somebody had went and got that trailer around 6 p.m. before I came in. I come in at 8. So that was like, dang, I drove all the way up here for nothing, even though I get paid by the hour. But sometimes you be tired, you be struggling, and I work the night shift. So that's the only thing I can say about communication. Now, culture. I want to say at my terminal, the company definitely listens to drivers' feedback. From my perspective, I mean, they went and gave us a survey, and then right after the survey, they implemented what the driver said they wanted. So I'm not going to say that the company is going to bend and fold to every little thing that you complain about or that you disagree with or something like that. But I do feel like the company is listening to you. Like, for instance, they had me doing CNS Target, and I'm not a big fan of CNS Target. Like, I know you should step outside your comfort zone, but I do feel like BJ's is where I'm most fulfilled. It's where I find my enjoyment, I guess you can say, even though the DC been a little crazy. But it's where like I might have a stressful day, but I don't feel like I don't complain or anything like that. On the Target, it's just like I'm not happy on that account. I don't like it at all. So, I did help out with it a couple of times, and they were gonna throw me on it for like a week, and I was like, nah, like I gotta speak to somebody about this because I don't really like it. So I spoke to my DM. I was like, hey, is there any way y'all could take me off of this because I really don't enjoy this account. I really don't like it. I don't like doing it, and I'm unhappy. And they spoke to terminal manager. They took me off of it. They did throw me on Dr. Pepper a couple of times, and I don't have an issue with Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is cool, but that CNS Target is just a whole nother ball game that I don't like dealing with. So I guess you could say that they're understanding. They listen to feedback. I did have to call out because of my car, and then I had a breakdown a couple days ago where I was stuck in the middle of the highway, and I ended up not getting home until like 5 p.m. And they told me I had to see you Sunday. Just see you Sunday. So they've been pretty understanding. So I like that about the company. I'm gonna do a video separately on the pros and cons of the BJ's account specifically. And the only other little miscellaneous things, I don't want to say little, the only miscellaneous things I can say is Cowan reports everything that happens with the truck as an incident. So if you knock the mud flap off, they're going to report it as an accident. If you knock the mirror off, they're going to report it as an accident. If somebody hit you, it's going to get reported as an accident. So everything that happens with the truck, if it's any damage that occurs, it's going to get reported as an accident. So I want to make sure that y'all all know about that, even though we all should be being careful. Some things you can't help, but some things you can. But the things you can't help, you can help. And you make that mistake, just know that they will report it as an incident or accident on your record. So if you ever do decide to leave to go to another company, just know that you need to make sure that you taking pictures and you taking notes and writing down, okay, for example, April 10th, 2022, mud flap knocked off a trailer, such and such and such and such at this time. Make sure you're writing it down, you're taking pictures so that you can have your proof of what happened. That way, when you do go to another company, they'll be like, hey, you got something on your record for April 10th. And you're like, what? And then you could look back and say, oh, okay, I knocked the mud flap off of the trailer or something like that. So make sure that I'm making sure that I let y'all know this just so that y'all can be aware. Just always be safe, be careful, take your time, don't rush. And yeah, some things you can't help, but the things that you can, take your time. Next thing I want to say about equipment is you do be on wild goose chase for trailers at nighttime. The right wild goose chase for empty trailers, period. That's like one of the most annoying things ever because you can't just go into DC and take a empty. You got to actually come in there with a control number, an empty number, pickup number, all this other stuff. And BJ's basically emails Cowan a list of empties, and then you got to go find the empty. And then sometimes you go find the empty and it'll be loaded or it'll have pallets in there and it's not empty anymore. You can't find it. Somebody else took it. The empty is not longer on the yard. So that's the only downside. It's like a wild goose chase for empties. And as far as my schedule, y'all, I work 10 to 12 hours a day now. Before it was like 8 to 10, but now it's been averaging about 10 to 12 hours a day. About 50 to 60 something hours a week on average. My hours have increased since the winter season has been over. And I've been doing about 2 to 3 stores a day. Sometimes if they send me like far out, like Virginia, I'll do like one store and a pickup on the way back. I'll do inbound loads for Clorox or Domino's every once in a while if they send me down to Maryland. But for the most part, I have 2 to 3 stores. I go to New York a couple of times. I go to New York like at least once or twice a week. At least once or twice a week. If you do come on this account, just know that you're going to be in New York. Like, there's no way you can escape that unless you go on some other account. I don't know where Dr. Pepper typically goes. Whenever I'm on Dr. Pepper, I usually be in like Allentown or some part of New Jersey. Like, they never sent me to like New York with a Dr. Pepper load, so I don't know how far they go. But just know on BJ's, you are going to New York. You're going to New York. So if you don't want to go to New York, don't jump on the BJ's account up here locally. But outside of that, y'all, I feel like I hit everything. If y'all feel like I didn't hit everything, comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Ask me questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. If you would like to use me as a referral on your application, if you decide to come over here, my driver code is MURV as in Victor. Merv, what they call me. Javion Murray is my name. You don't have to use me as a referral. Just as a shout out, I did have one guy use me as a referral on his application, and he's been here about 2 weeks. I check in on him from time to time, find out how he's liking the company, if he have any complaints, and he's had a pretty positive outlook on everything, and he's having a great experience so far. He's on a semi-local account that Cowan did not have when I first started, which is where like he'll get sent out somewhere and he'll come back, and he might run something locally or something like that. So I think that's pretty cool. That's something you could look into if you don't want to do strictly local. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time.